Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank Racetracks of Canada, Woodbine Entertainment Group, and Mr. Lewis, the retired commissioner of the Ontario Provincial Police. And I'm going to start mainly questioning Mr. Lewis because when I looked at the previous bill in the last Parliament, this was the issue when I started formulating my thoughts on single game event betting. Mr. Lewis, you've been associated with the Ontario OPP for many years. When I saw that at least $10 billion is bet annually through black market sport books in this country, including ones, as you mentioned, through criminal organizations like the Hells Angels, that was one of the most intriguing things to me. And that was why I kind of jumped on this bill, because provincial authorities, along with territorial, are losing out in revenue because of this. And I just want you to maybe just touched on it a little bit with the arrest in 2019 of that organization connected with Hells Angels in Southern Ontario. But how big is it in this country, you think, the black market in single game betting?
Well, it's tremendous, sir. It, without a doubt, I can't even begin to estimate the number of people. The other experts out there would know, but there is a whole pile of Canadians that are betting and spending billions of dollars annually through systems now that many wouldn't understand. As I said, are run by the Hells Angels or traditional organized crime groups, the mafia, for lack of a better word, and so it's happening anyway. And as I said, much like the marijuana legalization or cannabis, the situation is that people are doing it anyway. So the choice the government has is to pull it out of that murky kind of clandestine, illegal marketplace that facilitates other organized crime activity through the funding that they gather, and bringing it into a well-regulated, well-controlled, safe environment, which government actually makes profits that they can turn back into community programs and other things. So getting the Hells Angels and traditional organized crime out of it as much as possible, it'll never end it totally, is key.
Yeah, you know, during a Super Bowl week, we often hear of police raiding places, and that seems to be the only time of the year that Canadians hear about this. You know, Super Bowl week, there'll be a raid the week before or a Monday, Tuesday leading up to the Super Bowl. And then, you know, the basic threat to criminality in this country is really through unregulated single game betting in this country, I would think.
It is, and with that comes, of course, those turf wars. Much like we would think, you know, two drug dealers are fighting over the turf of one corner in the city somewhere to sell their drugs. The turf wars over the marketplace and illegal gaming have resulted in tremendous acts of violence. So what is the risk to the public? Some person sitting in a cafe in York Region when a bomb goes off that really had nothing to do with illegal gaming, but it's just a turf war issue. So some of those huge impacts from a violence perspective, and then the illegal loan sharking and all the other things that come with that provide so much criminal activity and so much funding for organized crime to allow them to buy guns and other things that, of course, they're involved in, human trafficking operations, etc. There's quite a jeopardy to public safety all around.
Well, I was shocked the 5-year period that you mentioned in your speech, $131 million, and that took $2.5 billion of unregulated betting just to get to that $131 million. I often thought when I looked at this bill in the previous Parliament, 10 billion was short. And I'm really fearful if this bill doesn't proceed, this will escalate in Canada more than we've ever seen. 10 billion to me in the underground economy, not only the illegal websites that we're seeing offshore. This is a major concern in this country that I think needs to be dealt with, and that's why it's important to get this bill forward.
I absolutely agree with you. And, you know, in these times where we're right now, we're having a meeting virtually, people are spending much more time on computers within their residences because of the COVID situation. Obviously, we don't know what the future brings around that other issue. And so how much of an increase is there going to be in this illegal gambling activity. So having it properly regulated by the provinces, the proper responsible gaming programs in place along with that, education, etc., I think would be a big step forward.